Good morning, guys. So obviously I'm wearing the same sweatshirt that I wore in like 2 of my videos. I don't know what you're gonna see first. I honestly just didn't feel like changing to do this. So you're just gonna have to get over it if you don't like when I wear the same thing, but at least you're getting videos, right guys? That's what I think about it. At least you're getting videos. So basically, we're gonna kind of do a drive with me and talk about some stuff. We're going to a Dunkin' because your girl is craving a Dunkin' everything bagel. But it is later in the afternoon, so sometimes they don't always have it. So if they don't, I'm gonna cry and I'm gonna go to the Starbucks near that Dunkin'. That way I don't go to the same Starbucks twice because they'll be like, right. So we're gonna go to Dunkin', get an everything bagel, probably the sausage, egg, and cheese wrap too because that is fire and I'm obsessed. So I stopped posting on my channel for like 4 or 5 days, hated every second of me being gone, hated every second of me not posting because I love when I post. Let me apologize for my camera now. It's probably gonna move a lot because my tripod is broken and I got a new one and it just doesn't work. So I'm using my broken one. So we're just gonna have to like deal with it moving and probably shaking, but I'm sorry. So I was saying I haven't posted on my channel in like 4 or 5 days, hated every second of it. I love to post for you guys. I love filming for you guys. But the reason I was gone was because I was literally dying. So basically, my tooth back here, my molar, has always bothered me. It has a filling in it. The filling always bothered me. Very sensitive to cold, sweets, stuff like that. So like it was really hard for me to chew on that side for a really long time. So I kind of just got used to like not being able to eat like my favorite chocolate covered granola bars because the chocolate would hurt it way too much. And so it started to bother me a lot to where I really couldn't eat anything on that side. So in January, I went to the dentist and I was like, hey, you know, this tooth is hurting me really bad. Like, I don't understand. It doesn't look like anything's wrong with it because I was looking and obviously I'm not a dentist. So I don't really know what I'm supposed to be looking for. This is gonna bother the crap out of me that it's shaking so much. But basically I went to the dentist, said like, hey, this is really bothering me. And they're like, okay, like let's take a look at it. Let's get some x-rays and see what's going on with your tooth. And I was like, okay, cool. Like love that for me. Hopefully we can get this fixed in this visit. So we're getting x-rays, everything done. And they're like, okay, well you have like the teeth of a 60-year-old because you grind so bad. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? So I have the teeth of a 60-year-old in the back because I grind so much at night because like stress, anxiety, whatever it is. So he's like, okay, it might be that your teeth are just very sensitive. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna prescribe you an expensive toothpaste. So this toothpaste is like $23 a full. And he's like, and then you're gonna have to like wear a mouth guard at night to hopefully help your teeth like relax and stop being so sensitive because that's probably what's wrong with it. And I was like, okay, you know, like that kind of sucks. So my husband had an extra mouthpiece because he grinds at night too, so he already has one. So we did mine that night. I tried to wear it that night and I just couldn't breathe in it. It was terrible. So I wasn't wearing a mouth guard like I should. And then I didn't get my prescription filled for my toothpaste till like a month or 2 later. I know, I'm terrible, but when it comes to spending that much money on freaking toothpaste, it just wasn't ideal for me. And I was just like, you know what? It's whatever. I'm just gonna freaking suffer. This is gonna be like the rest of my life. And so it got to, let's see, it was like 4 or 5 days ago when my tooth, oh my God, this lighting, hold on. 4 or 5 days ago where my tooth was actually sharp shooting pains. Like it was sending electricity in my tooth and then it would go up to this tooth and then it would go to my ear. So I had that after I ate a Chick-fil-A sandwich. You know the crunchy pieces on a Chick-fil-A sandwich? Well, I bit into it and it was so good. Like nothing against that Chick-fil-A sandwich because it was fire. The crunchy piece just hit that tooth just right and I clenched my jaw on it. Fucked it up. Like done. So that's what started the electricity in my tooth, and I was like, oh, you know, it'll go away. So it was like 12 o'clock that day when it started, and it wasn't too bad when it first started, and then it got really, really bad at nighttime, to where I was crying literally all night. I did not sleep. I maybe got an hour or 2 hours of sleep that night because I could not handle the pain. The pain was insane. It was ridiculous. It was terrible. So I was like, this is awful. I talked to my mom. She's like, it's probably a nerve. And I was like, yeah, that's right. I think it's a nerve. That has to be it, because like there's nothing wrong with my tooth. They literally told me nothing's wrong with my tooth. So we go on to the next day, to where it's a little bit more manageable, but it still freaking hurts. So I'm like laying on the couch all day. And it's not too bad. It would happen every like maybe 45 minutes, to where I would get a shooting sharp pain in my tooth, and then it would go away for a little bit, and I was like, okay, like I can kind of deal with this, like this is okay. It just sucks. It freaking hurts. So it comes around to nighttime, and it's worse again, and I got a little more sleep than the other night. I got like 3 or 4 hours of sleep, but it was still really, really bad. And I was like, this fucking sucks. Like, I'm going to die. I want to sleep. I'm exhausted. And I was like, I'm going to cry. So I'm talking to his mom, talking to my mom, talking to my dad, and we were like, this is ridiculous. This is terrible. And I was like, I gotta call the dentist, and it was like a weekend, so I didn't think they were open. So I didn't call them, which was my mistake, because when I went, he was like, yeah, I was on call this weekend. You could have called me. I was like, fuck. So it was Sunday. I went to my parents' house, and because we do Sunday dinner, and I was like, this hurts so bad. So we got me a new mouth guard. We got some Orajel to hopefully numb it. Okay guys, so we have our food. I look rough, but I'm gonna turn right out of here because turning left kind of scares me, and I don't want to do that. So as I was saying, it was Sunday dinner, so my dad got me some Orajel, ordered me a new mouthpiece and stuff like that. And it was really bad. Like, it would come and go. Couldn't sleep, was still exhausted. This is day 3, 4? No. It's day 2 or 3? I don't know. It was a lot of days. That's all I know. I was suffering for a while. So we got Orajel, and we put it on, and I was like, this is not working. Like, it's numbing everything except the tooth. And I put it straight on the tooth. So we're like, it has to be a nerve, because there's no way that everything else in my mouth is numb except that one tooth. So we're like, yeah, it definitely has to be the nerve. So Monday morning, I woke up. I mean, I didn't really sleep that night, so I kind of was just like laying in bed chilling all night, and then went in the bathroom, cried a little bit, came out, and then called the dentist, and they were like, yeah, we can get you in at like 12:10 today. I was like, yeah, like we're getting this shit fixed. So I go to the dentist, and I'm terrified. I hate going to the dentist. And I definitely don't like going by myself. We're gonna park so I can eat a little bit because I'm starving. So I definitely don't like going by myself either. It really scares me. I am such a baby. Shut up, Piper. I'm such a baby when it comes to stuff like that. Like, I want my mom there. Like, I don't care how old I am. I will forever want my mom with me, because that's just how I am. I feel like a lot of people are like that too, so like, I'm not ashamed to say it. So I was a big girl, and I called for my own appointment, and I went by myself, and he was looking at the tooth, and he's like, oh, so you're back, like it's the same tooth, or is it a different? No, I said it's the same tooth, and it's like sharp shooting pains, can't sleep, I'm going to cry, I'm literally exhausted, and I'm like, I really need to sleep, like I need my sleep right now, I'm so exhausted. And he's like, okay, like let's take a look at it, did some x-rays, and he's like, okay, so we're gonna give you like a little dentist lesson. And I was like, okay, give it to me. I don't know, I'm just hurting. He's like, okay, so you see that? That's a normal nerve. And you see this nerve? Yeah, that's an aggravated nerve. And my nerve was like this. Like, it was touching my filling. And he's like, your filling is great. Your filling is so thin, everything like that. My nerve was touching my filling. I was like, damn, that's an aggravated nerve. And he's like, yeah, so what you're gonna do, we have 3 options. I was like, okay, sounds good. He's like, we could pull it, but I don't recommend that. I said, I do not want to pull it. No, thank you. He's like, you can leave it and suffer, but obviously you don't want to do that. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And he's like, so the next thing would be a root canal. And I was like, a what now? He's like, a root canal. I said, yeah. And I was ready to cry right there. I was like, the one time I go to the dentist without my mother, I need a freaking root canal. I mean, I knew if she went with me, I would still need it anyway, but like still, like that's not the point. So I was ready to cry in the chair because I was like, I am going to die. The dentist scares me. This just made it 10 times worse. So he's like, I'm gonna recommend you to someone that is like a professional in root canals. Like we don't do root canals here, but we'll recommend him to you and we can try to get you in as soon as possible. So let me call some people and let me see what I can get you. And I was like, okay. So that day he came back in the room and he's like, okay, so we can get you in tomorrow at 12:15 at this place. And I was like, okay. He's like, one more night. And I was like, okay, I can do it. So I go home after they poked and pried that tooth. So that nerve was already 10 times more aggravated when I left than when I went in because they poked at it so much. So it was like the first day all over again to where I could not sleep. I was crying literally all the time because it was so aggravated. I was like, it was fine until they started messing with it. Just to like see if it was like a cracked tooth or something like that. I was ready to throw some hands. It was just like not a good time. So I was crying all night. I was dying. Here, let me get my food ready. Hold on. Okay, so I was crying all night. It was terrible. I'm gonna chew while I talk to you guys, and I know some people get aggravated by that, and I'm sorry, and I hate it too, but I'm so hungry and I just want to talk to you guys. So I was so aggravated because they messed with it. Crying all night long. It was terrible. I just couldn't do it. I was telling my husband, I was like, I literally can't do this anymore. I want to rip my tooth out. I'm literally going to die. Like, this is terrible. This pain, I can't do it. I literally said that for hours and I hated going to bed. Like, my favorite thing to do is go to bed. Those couple of days, I hated... What is up with my lip? I hated going to bed. Like, it was the worst time of the day. And I used to love it. Like, bedtime, like, shit, let me go to bed. No, I hated it. And he's like, one more night, you only have one more night to do it. Like, you're gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I was like, I really can't do this anymore. I'm gonna die. Like, I can't. So we would count down the hours until it was there. And then I left my house at like 11:40 because I could not just sit there anymore. And I got to the dentist and I called them because you can't go in. You have to call them before you go in. And I was sitting there in my car, literally dying. And then they called me and they're like, okay, you can come in. I was like, but. I was like, I don't want to go in. I don't want to go in. So I go in, hand them the paperwork that I did at home. My lip feels weird. And they're like, okay, if you can just take a seat and we'll call you back when it's your turn. I was like, okay. So they call me back. And he's like, oh, so you got like no sleep? I was like, yeah, I have not been sleeping. I'm so exhausted. I'm literally so tired. I might fall asleep in the chair. And he's like, that's fine. A lot of people do. So they're like, we're gonna numb you up. And I was like, this is the part I was regretting because I hate needles. Like, terrified of needles. Like, I'm trying to get over my fear of needles because like I'm a big baby when it comes to it. But it's in my mouth too. Like, ow. So he had his assistant there. She let me hold her hand. Thanks, girl. You're the best. So he numbed down here, in here, a little more in here, and then I think he did one more shot, but I don't remember where. Even though they put numbing stuff on it, it still freaking hurt. I'm getting a call, and that number looks familiar, but I'm not gonna answer it. It looked familiar. I'm thinking of the phone call. It still hurt, but it wasn't like terrible. And they're like, okay, we're gonna let you like sit here and get numb. And then we're gonna start the root canal. So they left. And then she comes in and she's like, do you want me to get you like a pair of headphones so you can listen to your own music? I was like, oh my God, yes, please. That would be amazing. Because I didn't think to bring them because my mind was all over the place in the fact that I was getting a root canal today. And so she gets me headphones and like I prayed the whole way to the dentist office, was praying in the chair. I played my Christian playlist because I love those songs so much and it calms me so much. So he's like, okay, we're gonna get started. I might like lift up your headphone just to tell you like what's going on or something. I was like, okay, well I really don't want to know what's going on, but if you could just like kind of keep me updated, that would be cool. He's like, okay, so I played my Christian music, laid there, and all of a sudden I hear this drill start, and I'm like, fuck, like, oh my god, like, I'm so scared. But I didn't feel a thing. There was a little, like, pressure, obviously, and, like, he did something to my top tooth, because my top tooth was kind of sensitive as well, so that one kind of hurt, because it didn't numb up. I mean, it was kind of numb, but, like, wasn't really. So, like, that stung, and, like, was the sharp shooting pain, but they got rid of it. And I was very, very thankful. I got up and it was over and I was like, that didn't hurt at all. I literally feel so great. I mean, this whole side of my face was like numb as crap. Like I could not feel it. I was licking my lip. I was like, am I licking my lip? Like I called my husband after. I was like, does this look fatter than this side? Because I feel like it does, and then I can't feel anything, and I'm like, am I biting my lip? And my lip, it was crazy. But it was such a relief. Like I honestly never felt so relieved in my entire life. Like I was like, this is fantastic. Like I feel so much better. Like I physically couldn't do anything those couple of days, and I feel like such a new person. And it's like crazy how like teeth can do that to you. It was amazing. It was literally the best. So I went home, I laid on the couch. I had a couple pieces of bread because I was hungry, but I didn't want to like aggravate this. And then I actually fell asleep on the couch, and it was like the best nap ever. And it was so loud in his house because our nieces were over. We were watching movies, talking and everything, and I slept through it. I was like, this is great. And then I went to bed and I slept great all night. So it was such a relief and it was so nice. So if you're avoiding the dentist, go, because they help you so much, obviously, but I just don't like the dentist, but that's just me. So I'm gonna finish eating this one and then we'll probably eat those at home, but we're gonna drive to our lot and see if there's anything else they've done. We're waiting on them to pour the concrete, so we'll see if they do that. Okay guys, so obviously I'm home now, obviously because you can see the garage. But I went by our lot. I was gonna film it, but there's a bunch of workers, so I didn't want to. They have not poured the concrete yet. They dispersed the second pile of rocks and added a white tarp, so I think they're getting ready to pour our concrete. But our next door neighbor, their second story just went up, and I've been seeing how fast their house is going up, so I know once our concrete's poured, it should move pretty smoothly and fast. It just sucks because we've been getting a lot of rain, and that's like what's holding the process of the concrete going in for us. So it's supposed to like rain the rest of the week, I think, so that really sucks. So I don't think they're gonna be able to pour it this week. It'll probably be sometimes next week, so that's a bummer, but it's okay. So I'm just gonna go inside now, and I still have to finish my bagel. I've been kind of eating it like on the way home a little bit. I know you're not really supposed to eat and drive, but I'm so hungry I needed to. But yeah, so I'm gonna go in. Thank you guys so much for listening to me rant about my tooth. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.